damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio.
Cagno Radio. Start now.
Episode 54 of Cagno Radio begins right now. Joe is my co-host and back again this week. We thank you for listening wherever you're at. I want to say thank you to everybody who emailed in this week and said that they will never look at their barber the same after that discussion we had last week.
That was a funny discussion.
My barber saying to me, I love you. Okay, he didn't say I love you, but God, I was dying laughing. So we recorded this last Tuesday night. I was laying in bed. My wife was out of town, and I was straight up giggling like a schoolgirl thinking about if my barber said to me, I love you. I'm going to open up a Roth IRA in our names.
I was driving around. Many times this last week and just thought, when I'm with you, I feel safe. And that's what I would start laughing about. I just feel safe. And I did the same thing. I'd be by myself like,
Thank you to everybody who wrote in and said they won't look at their barber the same. And thank you to somebody who said that me and you, Joe, are their spirit animal and they would like a T-shirt with our faces on it.
oh,
I don't know if the world's ready for a T-shirt with our faces on it.
yeah, I don't know about that.
I feel like there's only two kinds of T-shirts with faces on them. Those that you paid like $600 for that looks good, or the ones that are mass-produced, which we can't afford. That are like $2 a piece.
Or like a mesh tank top with our faces screen on them. See, I would want to go more with like a men's brief, like our faces on men's briefs, and then girls could wear those men's briefs
Like
as
boy
well.
shorts.
Like boy shorts. Yeah.
Cheekies.
Cheekies. string thongs. Whatever.
Whatever you want our face on. We can make that.
Borat bathing suits.
Remember I had one of those?
Yes.
At my bachelor party, I put on a Borat bathing suit for everybody.
For everybody to see. And it hasn't been confirmed that a sock was used. I don't know. We've never gotten. Are you okay?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten confirmation.
Yeah, there is. We're gonna go ahead and leave that there for a second. That a sock may or may not been used. Had been used to just accentuate the region. I forgot about that. I forgot that even happened. Push that deep down inside. I take it you and the other guys that were there have talked about that. There might have been a sock used.
There may have been a sock used. When one went to put it on, it may have taken a little bit longer than it should have to put it on. And then it was like, wait a second. I've been in locker rooms with this guy. And suddenly, I think you were wearing the bathing suit and only one sock. So
came down with like one sweat sock on,
right,
with a hole in it.
Right.
Where's the other sock, Cal? I don't know. I must have left it upstairs with the rest of my clothes. Lay
look
off
how
every.
I fill this out.
Drink it in. So I saw something I had never seen before this evening, and that is a man with a sock in his crotch. No. I saw a woman just go ahead and just bypass the turnaround for the Michigan turnaround on Crooks Road and go up and over the median.
Oh.
In a car. Like just decided I want to go south on Crooks, and instead of going north.
I'm glad you clarified that she was in a car. Because I was thinking she ran or maybe buggy and horse.
She was in a vehicle. But I was very surprised that was like her move. Like the two things I still can't believe when I'm on the road are the old people usually or rich people who are like, I'm going. That's it. I've decided.
I don't have time for turnarounds. I don't have time for turnarounds. They're a suggestion.
Right.
A turnaround is a suggestion. It's not, this
mandatory.
Land, we're all free. The government put those turnarounds in. They don't control every area of my life.
Yes.
And if I want to go over the median, the turnaround is just a suggestion as to, hey, you can do this. It's a controlled turn, But if you just want to Dukes of Hazzard that sucker right over the median and come out on the other side unscathed, hey, more power to you.
If you want to put up a double middle finger and say, it's a Jeep thing, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah. And as you're going, it goes,
It's like, no, I don't understand. It was like a 70-year-old woman, too. Like, I'm like, wow. Like I said, she's the same person who's like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm just going to pull out. And whoever just decides to stop is cool. Whoever doesn't is cool, too.
Or she could have just been stroking out, and you drove by thinking that she was, like, doing what you just said, and really she came to rest against a maple on the other side, and, you know, right now her next of kin is being alerted to
and
her.
I could have done something instead
You could have done something.
Instead of mentioning to my wife, hey, I could use that on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, she was swallowing her tongue during a seizure, and you were just like, that old lady, that old broad just makes up her own rules.
She's a witch. I bet she's a witch.
I bet she's got some toadstool in the bag. Eye of Newt.
Witchcraft. That's what I smell around here. Eye of Newt. What is Eye of Newt?
Well, a newt, I think, is like a salamander.
Oh, it's like the
newt?
eye of it?
Well, that's what I would guess.
Hence the name.
Hence the Eye of Newt.
Okay, so I did something bad the other day, and I want to admit it to everybody listening. I was in a car with another person, and
how dare you?
On 696, this person got their car up to 105 miles an hour. Now, I have preached to my children on more than one occasion that, like, you should say something when someone's putting your life into danger, and I didn't say a word. And I know there should be something funny here, but the look on your face, I feel so bad. Like, I told my wife this story, and she was like, almost in tears. She was like, if you would have died because some idiot was driving 105 miles an hour on 696.
Right. What are you, 17 years old? Like, the name I want to call you, I can't call you because sometimes my children listen to this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
No, I know. I should have said something.
And you can't just go like, whoa, I have a mortgage to pay. Slow down. Like, I have 2 kids at home. Slow down.
I know I should have.
105?
105 on 696.
Think of 105 hitting a pothole.
Oh, I know.
Like, it would have fallen apart like the Challenger.
Dude.
You would have been the Challenger going down.
You know what's funny about the Challenger? Let me just switch gears for 1 second. In my mind, I was at the zoo when the Challenger happened with my, 4th grade class or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember coming back, and our teacher got pulled aside by the principal because there was no cell phones at the time, and they were like, the Challenger exploded.
Yeah.
Tell the children. And she had to tell us, and people were truly upset. But it happened in February. There was no way that we were.
I was homesick.
When did it happen? Do you have your phone on you?
I do.
I want to know
we
because
were in 3rd grade.
We were okay. So we were in 3rd grade, but there's absolutely no way I was at the zoo. It was in the winter.
Let me look it up. So keep talking.
Okay, Christy McNichol. No. What was the teacher that was going to be on there? Because remember, they made all of us watch that.
Yeah.
They were like, there's a teacher on there. We're going to all watch it live.
April 4th, 1983.
Yeah, there's no way I was at the zoo.
April 4th.
You all right over there?
Yeah. Wait.
What was her name?
Wait. No. It's maiden flight. Okay, this is talking about what I'm looking up is the entire Challenger.
You're looking up flat Earth, aren't you?
Its first flight was April 4th. My bad, of 83. It blew up January 28th of 1986.
Okay, so there is absolutely no way that we were at the Detroit Zoo on a field trip in January of 86.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was homesick, and while I was homesick, my mom was like, hey, Joe, the space shuttle's taking off. So I go in my kitchen on a black and white TV. We watch it. It goes up. I'm thinking that the boosters have separated, and I'm just watching it oh, okay, this is space. And I turn around, my mom is hysterical crying. And then I was like,
you're like, she must really love space travel.
I was like, man, she loves some space. and then obviously everything happened. And
wait,
here's the other
you still
thing.
have it pulled up? I want to know the teacher's name.
Oh, you're close.
What's her name?
Krista McAuliffe.
Oh, Krista McAuliffe.
Yep. Krista
okay, so I was
McAuliffe.
pretty close, yeah. I just remember that Yeah, there she is.
So it's kind of a crazy spelling of last name.
Yeah.
Krista McCullough.
Yeah, that's you remember she had like kind of like ramen noodle hair. Like she had sort
I
of
don't remember that. I think of her as having what we saw in that picture there, which is 80s hair. Ramen noodle hair.
You know how like some people in the 80s had their hair and it looked like ramen, like the package of ramen noodles. Like super tight curls, but like wavy kind of.
Crimped.
I don't know. Is that what they call it?
It was crimped.
Yeah. But anyway, so you were home, your mom's upset, and you remember thinking, man.
And then the next day was, get this, the next day we had to bring in something, what do they call, current event.
You did not do the Challenger shuttle.
So I'm thinking, I'm home. I saw this happen.
Live.
Nobody else in my class is even thinking about this. So the next day, I grabbed the paper, the front page. I cut that sucker out because the Challenger exploded. I'm going to take that to school, and I'm going to tell all the kids about, all my classmates, all my mates about the Challenger.
You were like the bad news deliverer.
Yep. And
Hear you. I've got some terrible news to tell you. Gather round.
we're proud of you. We're proud of you.
We're proud of the things that you say and do.
So I bring in my thing, and they start going through current events by alphabetical order. Well,
And your last name is at the end.
My last name is at the end. So by the time current events were done, and there were 20 other Challenger front pages stapled to the cork board, mine was just like another drop in the bucket. And I was like, ooh.
Is it bad to have the end of the alphabet last name? Like, because mine
Yes.
is at the front, so whenever anything's alphabetical, I'm always in the front.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like, everything growing up, like the last thing, like I remember in first grade, like my teacher would be like, okay, everybody line up at the door in alphabetical order or whatever the case may be. And then like every now and then she would say, we're going to do it in reverse order.
Nice.
And it quit.
And the a-holes like me were like, this isn't fair.
Yeah, this is not fair.
This is not fair at all.
And that's where it ended, was
Yeah.
first grade. After that, when you're an adult, everything is, we're going to do this by alphabetical order. Well, at companies or get-togethers or parties, let's just say it's a one and done. Let's say you do one party a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at this party, you do something and you tell everyone to line up alphabetical order starting with A. That's the one party that you've put on a year. But the other 20 things that I've gone to that year that also have something to do with alphabetical.
You're like, I want ribs
last.
too.
Last.
But I'd like some pulled pork too, please.
Right. By the time you get up there, it's all picked over. The only thing left is the fried chicken, is the thigh. And you're like, come on, man.
You're like, listen, I didn't want the snout of the pig.
Right. It's always just the drippings and everything. And you're like,
The
come
gristle.
on. Yes.
Why do I?
Yeah.
Gristle.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of pulled pork, anyways, unless I can pull it myself. Like, because every once in a while you'll go to a place and you're like, oh, pulled pork is the. Ugh.
Right.
And you pull out like that membrane stuff. You're like, I don't remember there being a vein in there.
You know what? I think I'm all done here. And I will give this to the guy standing on the corner.
Yeah, there is just, and I've been to like pig roast, which I don't think inherently are white trash. I know some people are like, pig roast are white trash. It's like, no, they're fine. They're kind of like just a major barbecue, right? That takes a lot of time and money. But I've been there and they put like the pig's head out there with the rest of the body that's been pulled
On
apart.
a steak.
And you're like, God.
Yeah, you're like, this ain't Lord of the Flies. I just came here to have a fun time.
I drink a couple beers and
Yeah.
have a pulled pork sandwich. I don't need to know the origin at all.
I don't need to see this pig skull and feel like we got to bust out a Ouija board and make, blood pacts with one another.
I don't want to talk to my dead relatives today. I just want to have a meat sandwich.
Exactly.
I'm good. You're
Exactly.
going to put on some mastodon.
I wanted
Cool.
to have a freaking Sierra Nevada Pale Ale IPA and eat some pork and maybe try poi that I know I'm not going to like. But I don't need to see the skull.
Yeah, I don't need to meet
of a pig.
I don't need to meet my donor today. Nice to meet you, Mr. Chops.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord almighty.
it's just.
What about, hey, did you hear on the news, like those people that rescued that pig?
What?
Okay, so there was a pot-bellied pig, a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig named Molly. And this pig someone had it as a pet, and so the person died or the person did something, and so a rescue came in and got the pig.
Logically.
And so they were like, hey, this potbelly pig needs a home. And it's a cute pig. And so they kind
As
of,
pigs go.
as pigs go. And so they kind of did like a national thing that like you could adopt this pig. And the people that won the adoption, like that went through all the hoops and jumped through all the hoops, these people that won it, once they got it, they realized, wow, there's more to owning a pig than I thought. Like
Don't tell me.
This takes a lot of money. This takes
Don't
a lot
tell
of.
me.
They killed it and ate it.
What?
And they tweeted pictures of them frying the meat. So this cute little potbelly pig that was like on
Yeah, Good
evening
Morning
news.
America.
Yeah, exactly. Good Morning America. All this stuff. This cute little potbelly pig that's snorting in the
yeah.
camera and all this stuff. Yep, they just slit its throat, quartered it up, butchered it, and then they posted pictures. So when people came back, we're like, dude, what did you do? Like, you could have given this pig back.
And they were like, no,
Yeah,
finders keepers.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we just didn't think of it, and money's a little tight, so we ate it.
So stick that in your pipe and
Yeah,
smoke it.
Take that, Good Morning America. And
That's why I never
Sexual
do
deviant.
I never do anything good for anyone.
right.
Cagno Radio.
Yeah, right there. All right. We can swing it now. All right, go hit it.
So I just saw a report from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that more millennials lost money to scams last year than their grandparents did. Don't you always think that people who are old are the ones that get scammed?
Definitely.
40% of Americans in their 20s fell for some sort of...
20s.
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 How old are you? I'm in my 20s. Deal with that, you little bitch. 40% of Americans in their 20s fell for some kind of fraud last year versus 18% of people over 70. Older people fell for bigger scams, though. The average fraud victim in their 70s was taken for about $600. People in their 20s, about $400. Most successful, fake debt collectors, identity theft, and fake credit cards, tax fraud was the most successful. Have you ever gotten scammed on anything?
I think I may have been scammed this year.
Okay.
My friend did my taxes.
And at the end, he's like, surprise, I'm not even your friend.
Right. Yoink.
Not only am I not a tax attorney, but I'm also not your friend.
No, but he did my taxes and he submitted them, and I get a thing back from the IRS and then the state of Michigan saying that my taxes were denied. Like when he submitted them, that they were denied. So he looked them over, thought he maybe did something wrong, didn't check a box or whatever, resubmitted them. They sent him back immediately.
What?
So he called them and was like, hey, why aren't these things going through? And they said, well, there could be a number of reasons. Mail them in. So he had to then mail my taxes in. So now I'm waiting. Now I have to wait 7 weeks for these taxes to go in. And I asked him, I was like, do you think someone submitted, tax returns under my name? And he's like, yeah, that might be the problem. So
you think what? That you've basically, the reason they're being denied is because someone has already done their taxes in your name.
Correct.
Like
yeah.
the government's like, nope, you did them once, you're good.
Exactly.
We already gave you the $12,000 you were due.
Right.
You're like, but I'd like $12,000. Like, nope, doesn't work like that. You don't get $12,000.
It does not work like that.
No, I got a call from the IRS one time. A call from a very, very heavy accented IRS agent who knew my name and my address, left it on my cell phone. I quickly went to the Google machine and looked up IRS, blah, blah, blah. Turns out the IRS will never call you on the phone.
Correct.
They will only mail you something in the mail if there's something they need you to deal with.
Correct.
So I just let it go. But it's crazy. Like when you get that phone call from somebody, that you think is real,
Right.
or in this case, you know what I mean? Like yours is a little different because yours could be like identity theft, right? It would still be just as bad, but yeah, you get that call where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to jail if I don't.
I get another one often. You know what? Now that I think of it, now that I'm saying this, I probably haven't gotten the call in about 3 months, but for a long time, it was almost weekly that I would get this call where someone would call and say, hey, we're calling from like the IRS. You haven't paid taxes on your house. You're behind on your taxes on your house. A warrant is going to be issued.
Right, for your arrest.
Yeah, for your arrest. Unless you pay this off, we could do this over the phone right now and stuff. And I'm always like, oh, really?
Oh, wait, so you actually spoke to him?
Yeah. So the last time, and that's probably why they haven't contacted me. So the last time, so I would always kind of like mess with them because I don't own my house.
Right, you're like,
I
little
rent.
do you know I'm divorced and I rent.
Right, exactly.
Joke's on you,
Exactly.
sucker.
Yes.
I rent.
Right. Wah, wah.
You would think at my age I'd own, but I don't.
Right.
That was bad.
That's
I'm
a harsh,
sorry. I'm really
that's
sorry
a harsh
about that.
truth.
That was a joke and it was not supposed to be.
That's a harsh truth there,
no,
but
I don't.
no,
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll change the
Sorry,
subject.
I love you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I went
Hey,
there
you
with
know,
that.
I'll laugh at everything.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, you'll cry in your car on your way home.
My life is an open book. It's fine. But so anyway, like I would at first it like threw me. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, wait a second, I don't own this house. So I called my landlord and I'm like, hey man, this is what I'm getting. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like F them.
Yeah, tell
He's
him
like,
to
I'm
bring it.
fine.
He's like, you tell him to sue me. He's
Yeah,
like, please
so then
don't tell him to
each
sue
time
me.
I'd kind of like mess with them a little bit. And then finally the last time they were like, they called and I saw the number again. So I answered and they were like, hey, this, and I was like, really? Well, what can I do? And they're like, well, we could settle this right over the phone. And I was like, how? Like, do you need my social security number? And they're like, well, yeah, we're going to start with that. And I'm like, okay, well, do you need my bank account number? And I started just getting crazy, like, oh, do you need naked pictures of my, my wife or my girlfriend? And then they were like, sir. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man, this is a scam. And they haven't called me since.
Good.
So
yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's been anyone else that like has called. The only one that I did get one time is there was like one of those pyramid schemes that someone I knew from like my childhood was doing. So kind of like, on Facebook, there's all those people like who sell stuff, right?
Yeah.
Who's like, I haven't seen you since junior high, but I really think we should talk because I have this great money-making opportunity.
Right.
Here's the thing on pyramid schemes, just to be clear. The only way a pyramid scheme is against the rules or against the law is if you have to pay the person above you even if you don't sell anything. But they're perfectly legal if one person is at the top and everybody who's underneath them pays them when they sell something, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It still absolutely looks like a pyramid, smells like a pyramid, and in the diagram form is a pyramid. It's just not illegal.
the flow chart looks like a pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. But so I got a call from this girl and she was like, hey, Cal. Do you know so-and-so, the 34-year-old this is how she talks to you, the 43-year-old millionaire from Grand Blank? And I'm like, no, does he know me? Like, I honestly thought it'd be like me being like, hey, do you know so-and-so? And you'd be like, yeah, I know him. But I'd be like, hey, Joe, do you know John Franklin, the 34-year-old billionaire from Grand Blank?
I'd be like, yeah. And he told me to tell you F off.
So and I'm like, no, does he know me? I wasn't really sure why she was calling me. Thanks to my parents, my parents gave her my number, which was really nice of my folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
she swindled them out of millions.
Yeah, and so she was like, well, no, he doesn't know you, but with his principles, I can show you how to make millions and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, here's the deal: you make millions. Then you come talk to me, and I will then make millions, and we're going to make millions together, and we'll go on vacation together. It's going to be awesome. And she's like, no, that's not how it works. You got to get on the ground floor. And I'm like, dude, I'm done. Like,
You lost me.
Yeah, you lost me. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm not going to do this. She doesn't do that business anymore that I know of. But, yeah, when you started conversation with some script where you're like, do you know the 34-year-old billionaire from Grand Blanc? It's like, nope, I don't know him.
Right.
And I've been to places where you ever been invited to someone's house and you show up and you realize, oh, crap, they're going to start talking to me about a pyramid scheme.
No.
Yeah, my wife and I had that one time. Somebody invited us over like, hey, come over for dinner. Hey, guys, while you're here, I want to talk to you about this great money-making opportunity. And you're like, oh.
I'm like, can I have dessert?
Do you have any key lime pie?
Do you have key lime pie or a French silk? Hey, while you guys are talking about this money-making opportunity, I'm going to be in there watching the Wings play the Bruins.
It's regular season and the Wings suck.
Yeah.
But it's still better than listening to this
Yeah,
noise.
I'm going to be in there watching the Wings and the Bruins,
Yeah.
eating my French silk pie. Let me know when this is done. Me and my wife will be in the next room watching this. The Bachelor's on. Let us know when this is over.